Hey, how you doing? I'm Leonard Robinson, actor, writer, comedian, director, multi-hyphen, and do a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I'm here with Media Haus, Searching For Convos. Oh man.
Yeah, I agree. We are something good.
Wait, does everybody know? I mean, this is what.
Let's look at it.
My God. Should have brought my glasses.
You ready?
Yeah, we rolling.
Go ahead.
This is why I'm clocking.
Clock has started.
One direction, both directions.
You got something that's going down, look, diagonal, backwards.
Oh my God.
Oh, you got something. Post-production.
Oh!
Flip it over, flip it over, flip it over.
Flip it over.
Yep. Can't cheat. You got another round. Look.
All right.
How many words you find?
Well, now I gotta flip it back over. Round 4.
4. What's your first word?
WildNOut.
WildNOut. All right. You appeared in WildNOut early, in the early seasons at that.
Mm-hmm.
How does that type of fast improv comedy compare to like performing scripted roles?
Well, there's a lot of parallels, to it. Like, you can't sell a joke really improv-wise fast if you're not committed.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta really be committed to doing that. And I think what a lot of people don't necessarily, not everybody appreciates about what happened with WildNOut is even though everyone's kind of playing themselves, they're playing a version of themselves. So everyone became a character.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to lean into that, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be this kind of guy on this show, made it easier to commit and to do that. With improv, like, you just have to be able to let things go a lot faster, right? Just go out there, do a scene, try to hit a joke. If it doesn't work, it's fine, move on. There'll be another opportunity later.
Yep.
Whereas something scripted, if you mess up a line or mess up a take, we start all over again and we'll do it until we get it right.
Right. Next word?
Next word, Danbury.
Danbury. You were born in Ohio.
Yep.
But then moved to Danbury.
Yep.
So, at a young age, obviously, what kind of influence did your hometown have on your humor and artistry coming from Connecticut?
Yeah, so Danbury, Connecticut, where I went to school, I was pretty much one of a few black people, just always for a long time. And then we lived in Tokyo for a little bit as well, so that experience only got enhanced.
Yeah.
And I think that taught me early on that one of my strengths was being funny, because when you're around and when you're in those kind of spaces, you can be bullied, you can be picked on, and I figured out really quickly that I was funny, and nobody wants to pick on or bully the funny guy, right? Because then the joke stopped,
right?
And I was always pretty small, so I couldn't always fight. So I was like, all right, that was my tactic. I was like, I'll just be funny. Being funny and realizing that people thought that I was funny, it also made me want to get deeper into it and learn how to do it better, and learn more about comedy and watch more.
What was your next word?
Next word, Scotty.
Scotty. Your grandfather, Major Lloyd, is it Hathcock? That's how you pronounce it, senior? Or as many knew him as Scotty. Clearly he left an imprint on your life. When you think about your grandfather's legacy, how do you see pieces of him showing up in who you are, both as a man and as an artist?
Well, my grandfather, he retired a lieutenant major, I believe, Tuskegee Airman. Part of what I take from that is, when you are doing something or you're a part of something, try to be the best that you can at it. Hold yourself to a high standard and try to achieve that.
Yeah. And last word, what you had?
Last word I got was Alpha Chapter.
Alpha Chapter. You're a member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated Alpha Chapter. Shout out to the bros. What made you choose Omega specifically, and how has it helped shape you as a man?
Okay, what made me choose Omega Psi Phi? at Alpha Chapter particularly. Well, a lot of people like to say this, like, yeah, I didn't choose it, it chose me,
Yeah.
right? But, you know, my father was a Kappa and my uncle was Omega.
Okay.
And so when I came to college, I didn't really know what that was all about, but so I was open.
Mm-hmm.
But the first party I went to as a freshman, before classes even started, was a Q party at the frat house during freshman week.
Okay.
And I shut it down. And I remember sweating, sitting on the sofa upstairs. It might have been like 2 or 3 in the morning, and coming from Danbury, like that was crazy.
Yeah.
Just to be up that late and to be partying. And I looked to somebody, I looked at one of the frat brothers, I think it was Quentin Baldwin, 94, and I looked up to him and I said, hey, what time does this party end? And he looks back down at me and said, when it ends.
Right.
And I said, oh yeah, I gotta do this.
Well, all right.
These are my people.
Mm-hmm.
What time does it end? When it ends?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect answer. Perfect answer.
No, that's what's up. And go. Time. How many you get?
Let's see. What did I find next? 1, 2, 3.
Okay. First word.
Insecure.
Insecure. Role a lot of people know you from. You played Torian Jackson on HBO's Insecure.
Mm-hmm.
You also auditioned for Insecure over 6 times.
Something like that, probably.
How did you keep your resilience to keep going back, and what was that process like for you?
It's interesting. I've talked about this many times. The audition for Insecure. You know, I was at a place in my life when I got the first audition that I was kind of done acting or at least pursuing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to make a hard pivot into writing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was spending a lot of time doing that. And I just got really frustrated with the audition process and coming so close and not getting it that I was like, I think I'm gonna take a break and be done. And then that audition showed up. And I was like, all right, well, I'll go to this one. This will be my last one. But the thing was, I saw Issa Rae's web series, and so I was like into that. I was like, who is this woman? And I just felt like this could be something big.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to be part of that universe.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, a couple years later is when the audition showed up. So after, the first audition, when I came very close to the role Jay Ellis ended up getting, when they called me back to audition for another role, I wasn't discouraged. I was more encouraged in that they liked me and they really want to find.
Yeah, you get that call back, you like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, rarely do you get a call back for like something else after getting that far down the process.
Right.
So when they were like, well, look, you didn't get that, but maybe this other role. And I was like, okay, they want me somewhere in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt more encouraged. So I went in there and tried to do something else. And then that didn't work. And then another role came in. I didn't allow myself to be discouraged because I knew it wasn't what I was doing. It just wasn't the right fit for what they had envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really just the trick to booking anything, any acting role, is knowing that you're enough. This is what I got to bring to the table. Do you want it? And they may be like, no, I'm sorry. That's a real nice boot you got there, but we need a flip flop. Like,
right.
Well, I'm a boot.
Yeah. Do you think, because Torian didn't get introduced to season 3,
Yeah.
so do you feel like after them seeing you, they was like kind of writing towards you, or they already had this character in mind and was like, you know what, he fits?
When I didn't audition for Torian. I auditioned for a bunch of roles before Torian. By the time the role for Torian came around, that was an offer.
Okay.
By the time that came around, they offered it to me and said, do you want this? There wasn't really a description of the character.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one line, he's gonna work, Molly's new job.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't describe where that was, what that was, and really describe anything.
Okay.
And they said, offer to you, do you want it? We don't know how many episodes it's gonna be. Do you want this? And I said yes, sight unseen. And then when I showed up and discovered what it was, I was like, oh, this fits like a glove. This is perfect.
Next word, what you got?
Next word, what we got here? Dean Barkov.
Dean Barkov. Now, Dean Barkov is an animated character from American Dad, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us about your role as Dean Barkov, and do you enjoy voiceover work?
You know, voiceover animation, voiceover stuff is something relatively new to me, but yeah, I'm having a great time doing it, and you know, every time I get a chance to do a role and do that, I love it because you know you become animated.
Right. I was about to say you feel like you be really expressive because you behind.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you on the mic. Are you looking at a picture of your character?
Sometimes you get a visual and you know what you look like. Some other times you just have the lines and you just have to go off what the director's helping you out with and try and then sometimes you know your voiceover will help lend the animation, but usually the animation is already done. You might not, even when you audition for it or when you record it, you might not have that visual. So, but that was a great thing. It was one of my goals was to be like somewhere animated, some role, some show, The Simpsons or Family Guy or American Dad, and I just lucked out when that came in. Next, last word that I found, the Groundlings.
The Groundlings. Now you're a Groundlings alum. How did that?
No, current member, main member.
Oh, you're a main member. So how has training there sharpened your comedic instincts and improv skills?
Yeah, so the Groundlings theater company, for me being a main company member, has been very influential in sharpening and shaping my improv skills and my writing skills, my ability to create character, my ability to write for myself and write characters for myself. You know, if you look into the history of it, or if you come back and if you're in town and want to see a sketch show, like we take our sketch comedy very seriously, we take our improv very seriously. You know, everything from detail, you know, costume work, you know, to like, you know, I'm bald, you know, so finding the right wig and the mustache and everything, and like trying to create the clothes and all that other stuff, all that attention to detail has been very helpful and really helping me develop and finding an area and a talent I didn't know I had. So I did a role on Black Lady Sketch Show.
Real mystery is who trying to fuck?
That was another thing that was like an offer. But had I not been at the Groundlings for so long, it wouldn't have happened. So when Robin Thede called and was like, hey, I got this sketch for you, and I read it, I just sent her some pictures back. I was like, I could be like this guy or that guy. Like characters I kind of already worked on. She was like, that guy. and then I showed up and, you know, had a wig and had most of the costume, and did the job. Round 4. 3, round 3.
Just won this round. What word is it? Comedian. How do you balance your comedic timing with dramatic storytelling when you're on screen?
You know, I get asked that question a lot. For me, there's no difference in trying to serve the scene. I think in life, right, there's always some comedy and some drama if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
And too much drama is just boring to watch. You know, you got to find some lightness, some levity in any good drama that it has it. And once you can be able to tap into that, I think that's what makes a lot of those things pop. I'm also not always trying to find the funny in things. It's just, you know, kind of my nature that I can see it.
Yeah.
And so if I can see it, then that means it's there. You know, so I'm just gonna try and make it real. And that's why I say, like, there's no difference between drama and comedy. It's like just try and make it as real as you can make it. You know, just be committed. If you're really committed to the work, committed to bringing a character to life, then, you know, that'll resonate as true to the people watching, and then that's what makes a great performance, when you just kind of like watching this thing and like, you know, you forget you're watching a movie or forget you're watching a TV show. You kind of just feel like you're watching real people and you get sucked into their world, you know.
As a comedian, what's the most rewarding part about making people laugh in such a serious world that we in now?
For me, I'm not so interested in just like making people laugh, like just to be like, you know, to see if I'm funny. Like I've always known that, so I don't feel like the need to prove that. In my comedy, I'm always trying to work something out. Okay. You know, if I got a problem in a relationship or something like that, you know, maybe there's a joke in there. If I don't understand. A lot of my comedy is me trying to just understand the world, you know, my world. Okay. If you're in the audience that day, you might be dealing with the same thing. You might have saw the same thing that I saw. You might be dealing with the same problem or had the same experience, and then get some relief out of finding the comedy in that, finding the humor in that. So I think that's the biggest joy, is when, you know, like my father passed away last year, and I've been doing material on that, and oftentimes people come up to me after my set and say, thanks, you know, my father passed away. Right. You know, I totally get it. Yeah. You know, and I think that's what it's about for me. You all right with it?
All right, we got the final round.
Last round.
Last round. Now for the fourth round, you get an extra 30 seconds.
Ooh, I need it.
3, 2, 1. 2 minutes.
Need it.
I got an extra 30 seconds.
You did. 2 minutes.
Oh, that was it?
Gotta flip it. I can't say you found the most words out of all our guests though.
Really?
How many was that round?
Still missing 4. I found wrestler, writer, comedy store. We did comedian already, right?
Correct.
All right, then that's what I found.
You are a standout wrestler, state champion. Okay. What parallels do you see between discipline in sports and in the entertainment?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of my discipline in the entertainment industry was shaped by sports. You know, I wrestled, I did judo, I still do judo, and I still do jujitsu to this day. And the parallel is, or at least what I bring to it is if you're not prepared, you know, like don't expect to win.
Right.
You know, that's really what it is. And the amount of work that you put in has a big correlation to what you're going to get out of it and how you should feel about what you get out of it. Wrestling was real intense, and to be a state champion is really intense. You got to, you know, put a lot of focus in on that. That's the thing that I bring to it, was that I don't want to know what it's like to not have put in the work, and then you get your opportunity.
Do you feel like every man should have some type of fighting experience, whether it be wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, judo, just in life in general?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you gotta know how to protect yourself. That's what I think. But outside of that, I mean, just knowing how, I think if people train whatever it is, any kind of martial art or wrestling or something, anything kind of aggressive or any kind of self-defense kind of thing, I also think it's very helpful because it makes you less aggressive.
Right.
Or at least it should. You know, as long as you're not training at a place where everyone's doing steroids, right? It should make you less aggressive. You should be seeking less opportunities to be violent and have conflict. You know, even though you're training for that, what I have found in my life is it makes me a lot more chill. It makes me a lot more peaceful.
Yeah.
Because I've already done that. I'm at practice at 6:30 in the morning most days. So by 8 o'clock in the morning, I've choked enough people to last the week. Yeah. You know. And then I go back the next day. So it's like, I'm great, you know.
Well, that's what's up. All right. And then you said writer, also a writer.
Yep, writer.
How does writing allow you to tell stories differently than acting or improv?
Writing allows me to tell stories more differently than acting than it does. I mean, improv, you have the opportunity to bring characters to life from your own perspective as well. Although based on the suggestion, you might not necessarily be able to do the whole whatever you want to do with it. But when you write, you can create your whole world, all your characters, everything as you see it in your mind or how you lived it. And everyone has a story, everyone has something that's different or unique. I don't care who you are or what you've gone through. If you know, even the most boring person says, I don't have anything, I'm boring, like there's something in that. You know, write a story about the most boring person, right? Something's gonna come up. So I think that's what writing does. And also if you know, for those of you watching, if you're, you know, you wanna pursue acting or whatever, you're gonna spend a lot of time waiting to find the right role that's right for you. So in that time, you might as well spend that time learning how to write what you think the next good role is for you.
That's definitely good advice. What projects you've written that felt the most personal to you and why?
You know, at the Groundlings Theater Company, we write a lot of sketches. I mean, I write a lot of sketches that are personal to me for all kinds of reasons. If it's just like, I think this idea is dumb or I've been obsessed, I can't understand something, I'll write a sketch about that. You know, I wrote a sketch once called Thoughts versus Prayers, where it's, you know, somebody trying to bless the food versus somebody who's kind of holistic and believes in like the universe and trying to connect. But, you know, the inspiration behind that was like, you know, behind the school shootings, they're always like, our thoughts and prayers are with you. So it always felt like it's always thoughts versus prayers, right? So I exercised that and wrote that. Or I wrote a character, you know, a bunch of characters based on my dad, or wrote a character. I thought I was obsessed with Shark Tank for a while, and I was like, what would be the dumbest product somebody could come up with on Shark Tank, and you know, and exercise that. So for me, it's a lot of, I don't know, I guess it's problem solving. It's almost like therapy in a sense, where you're just like trying to get it out, and then once it's done, then I'm done. I don't think about it anymore.
The Comedy Store. So performing at the Comedy Store is a milestone for any comedian. What did that first night feel like when you walked in?
What did the first night performing at the Comedy Store feel like? Yes. Oh, wow. I'm trying to remember when was the first night I performed at the Comedy Store. Well, that's a loaded question. I would say the first night performing as a paid regular is a different experience than probably the first time I performed at the Comedy Store. So, because that was after many, many years of hard work, performing there, like late nights, you know, in front of like, you know, sometimes like 4 people, you know, is what they do for people who are trying to break into the Comedy Store. Like, you just gotta wait until, and so I'd be there all night and then finally get my shot. And it's like, I gotta do it. Because I know there's some people in the audience, but also, you know, the booking manager was still there. So like, I gotta do my best to perform and like try and make an impression. And so when I finally was able to perform as a paid regular, that felt great, because it's like, finally I'm done with this phase. I'm here, you know, it's a packed house and I'm killing. So that felt great. The first time I ever performed at the Comedy Store, however, that felt terrible. I think this was the first night I performed at the Comedy Store. This comedian, Guy Torrey, had a night called Fat Tuesdays at the Comedy Store in the main room, which seats about, I don't know, 300 something people. And when I got to LA, it was like one of the hottest, you know, nights in comedy. As a matter of fact, he's got a documentary on it, like on Amazon Prime. I was new to town, and I was just stopping by to say hello and introduce myself. Some comedian who had saw me at like an open mic somewhere, thought I was funny, saw me walk in and slipped a note to Guy Torrey, try this new guy out. And the only reason I got on that stage is because the comics who were on the lineup that night were late. And so he was stalling. So when somebody slipped him that note, I remember it like it was yesterday. He read this note and went, fuck it. And at that moment I knew this is not gonna go well. So he took that note, put it away, and then brought me on stage. I think the first joke was like a miss. The second joke was like, you know, okay. Third joke, getting better. And then he ran out and was like, cut. Enough of this bullshit. Damn. And then proceeded to roast me on stage. And I was like, all right, thank you, good night. I was trying to leave. I remember he put his arm around me and kind of like locked me up and was like, no, you ain't going nowhere. And I was like,
Right.
So now I'm in this
Stay in there and take it.
Yeah, so now I'm in this situation where it's like if I leave, I'm gonna look crazy because I'm gonna have to actually physically move this man off me.
Right.
So I just stood up there and took this roasting.
Yeah.
In spite of all that, it did teach me a lot.
What's the most valuable
What did it
lesson
teach
you to learn? Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. After that set, I was hurt. But the comedian who slipped in the note was like, "Look, man, sorry it didn't go your way. I only referred you because I thought you were funny because I'd seen you around town and I thought you were really funny. So it's like, don't give up." I remember he said, "You're never as bad as you thought you were, and you're never as good as you want to be. So just remember that." And I was like, that's a good way to put it. No matter how good you want to be, you're probably gonna fall a little short.
Right.
But you're also probably not as bad as you thought you were. And then the other thing it taught me is like, don't step into a comedy club if you're a comedian if you're not prepared to tell jokes.
Right.
Stay home.
Right.
Just say no. Sit in the back and order a drink, maybe.
Right.
You got to be ready to go. You got to be ready.
I'm gonna definitely keep that one with me. You said you're never gonna be as good as you want to be, but you're never as bad as you thought you were.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
It's all about perspective.
Absolutely. Well, that was your 4 rounds.
Oh, those are my 4 rounds. I'm
That was your
done.
4 rounds, yeah. How many words you find in total?
Hey, I got 4 more to go, so I'm just gonna sit here and find them.
I got one more.
Yeah, one more question.
Jumped around. Talk about how
Yeah, how did stand-up shape my path? I mean, stand-up for me has been, I don't know what I would have done without having that skill. Early in my career, I was just doing theater, and then I went to a theater festival in Massachusetts, Williamstown Theater Festival, and this comedian, Lewis Black, who was a white guy, who was on the Daily Show a lot, was running a stand-up workshop, and basically taught me how to do stand-up. And he was a playwright originally, and I was up there, like I said, I was deep in the theater world, just trying to get better at being an actor by doing theater. And I asked him, like, what's up with stand-up? And he told me he spent many years trying to make it as a playwright, but he would go places and do stand-up and be treated and paid well better. I mean, treated better and paid much better as a stand-up than he ever was as a playwright. And his main point was, you can do stand-up every night of the week. You can't always act every night of the week. You can't always write a play every night of the week. And he's like, and you're kind of good. Like, you can do something with this. And I didn't really think about it. I didn't really give it much thought after that. A year later is when I started doing stand-up again in New York. And yeah, initially it was like it's something to do because I just wanted to get more experience performing. I think because I've always been funny and I've always been into stand-up, it's like the thing that I was, I don't want to say cliche, but like born to do. Like I was always doing it. So it was like, finally you're doing it in the right way. Yeah, in a lot of ways, stand-up has, helped me be a more authentic, full me. Being able to do that. That was a good question.
So, as far as promotion-wise, do you have anything in 2026 that you have coming out or anything that you would like to promote?
I'm always pumping my Instagram. I am Leonard Robinson on Instagram. That's mostly where I'm at. I just co-wrote and started in a short action film called The Interview, which is actually premiering tomorrow. I don't know what time this is right now. Which is actually premiering at the Michaud Film Festival in Los Angeles. And so hopefully some people will see that and want to develop that further. And then other than that, in 2026, what I'm looking forward to is just a lot more work and peace and consistency.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say thank you for doing the Media House Searching For Convos. It's greatly appreciated, like I said to you before. And good luck to your 2026, all your future endeavors. And yeah.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Media House. I gotta get back to this word search. Hey, I'm Leonard Robinson. This is Media House Searching For Convos.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh!
Welcome. What's up, man? Welcome to the Media House. Look at words.